it's me. I'm sitting here trying to breathe because I'm sick again. And I've got my kitty cat mascot. And quick follow up on the video I posted last time with the mysterious medical vial that appeared in the house. Shortly after I'd made that video, the husband discovered that he had fresh wounds from bloodletting. If you were to look at my arm for fresh wounds, you're not going to find them because my arm tends to close up really fast, but he had a fresh one. We tried to film it, but the camera just couldn't get it. It was all blurry, so all I can do is say there's this thing. I'm still not saying that the vial is evidence, incidentally. I really do prefer to take the scientific approach on the matter. We have eliminated all that we know to eliminate. I contacted 2 researchers that I will talk to on occasion. The one I talked to a lot more than the other. The first told me, well, you know, the air is thick and, you know, there's a lot of activity with my labs. And, okay, that was good to know, but didn't help. And the other asked for photos of the vial, and it's been a couple of days. Now, mind you, it's a holiday weekend. So I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't hear from them in a couple of days, but I had contacted this person specifically for ideas or more ways to eliminate the paranormal with the vial's appearance. Trying to breathe, guys. That's all it is. I was in the elevator at a convention the other week having to do this. It's another lung infection. We're going like that. And this woman, in the crowded elevator is looking at me. And I told her, I said, I'm practicing to be Darth Vader. Everybody on the elevator laughed at her, and that was the end of that uncomfortable moment. Practicing to be Darth Vader. I could really use an iron lung right now. Anyway, it's been a while since I've done something like what I'm planning tonight, so I thought it would be funny. Well, not funny, just interesting. You know how I like to find those "Were you abducted?" questionnaires. And I found another one, and this is one that I have taken to myself, and I think I took it and sent it to them, and of course haven't heard a damn thing. It's from ICAR, the International Center for Abduction Research. So we will take their quiz today. Okay, ready? Real quick. Okay, here we go. Email, date, name, age. I'm in my 40s. Gender, pretty sure I'm female. Address, state, country, spouse. Have you ever seen a UFO? If yes, please give a short description. Well, you guys know that I've seen UFOs. I've even taken a couple of photos of UFOs, whatever. As a child or an adult, did you ever experience any odd periods of time or an hour or more when you were lost but don't remember being lost? Actually, yes. There's this one time I was traveling cross country, and I actually drove across the same mountainous region 3 times in one day, and the time kept jumping back and forth. And at the time I thought, oh, ley line, but now I have to wonder, do you have any scars or marks on your body that neither you nor your parents can remember how you received? Probably, but I don't really do a daily inventory of every little mark on my body. While awake, have you actually been seeing a frightening figure? Yes. Lots of times. So there goes that. Have you ever experienced an odd displacement in which you found yourself inexplicably in a location different from where you remember? Well, we just, covered that. Actually, that also happened to my husband a lot more recently. He was coming home, found himself 2.5 hours away, and couldn't figure out why, instead of home, which was like 30 minutes away. Have you ever dreamed of being in the hospital all the time? Have you dreamed of lying on a table? Yes. Have you had any disturbing or really realistic dreams about babies or small children? Yes. Dreamed about UFOs? Yes. And, it's like, yes, please describe. No. Have you ever woken up paralyzed with a sense of a person or presence or something else in the room? Yes. Have you ever seen lights or balls of light in your room for which you have no explanation? No. You are a woman. Have you ever had unusual problems with pregnancy? No. If you are a woman, have you ever felt, I might be a woman. Have you ever felt certain that you were pregnant? Yes, all the time when I was younger. Have you ever felt that you were actually and inexplicably flying? Yes. You have. You see where I'm going with this? Do you have inexplicable fears about certain areas, such as stretches of highway? No. Well, rooms in a house, because it lists stretches of highway, open fields, rooms in a house, and so forth. Well, rooms in a house, especially when I was younger. But actually, my fears tend to center around mirrors. And it's a long story about that. Have you actually left your body or had an unwanted and or unexpected out of body experience? Has a deceased relative or friend ever visited you in your home at night? Actually, I've had deceased relatives and friends visit me in my dreams in which they wanted to take me away, and I said no numerous times. Have you ever seen or sensed the presence of a ghost? Yeah. Religious vision or visitation, anyone? No, I mean, I've had visitations, but, waken wearing clothes that are not yours, and do you not know how you got them? That whole thing where if you've been abducted, you can wake up with your boxers on backwards or something. That's not ever happened to me. But yeah. Do you inexplicably feel that you're secretly teaching or helping someone? Yeah, sure. As an adult, do you feel that you have a special influential or controlling personality? Yes. Outside your normal life who no one knows about and who's not a religious figure. And then then it says very politely, sorry, I'm required to ask the following two questions. These questions deal with how one copes with unusual events rather than whether one has invented them. Okay. Actually, this thing has changed since the last time I went to this website, so I think that's kind of nice. Have you ever been hospitalized for psychiatric or psychological disorders? Are you on medication for these things? Well, my answers are no, but have you ever worked with a UFO abduction researcher? Yes. Name of researcher. Ho, 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 ho. Your thing isn't big enough. All of them dump you. Um, so it's just another thing in which I answered a lot of yeses. Have I ever been taken seriously by these people? No. I'm not too worried about it. This is why I do this online thing, because I'm putting this information out and somebody can use it and nobody has to deal with me in person that way, and I don't have to deal with the pain of somebody getting what they want and then just dumping me. So there's this thing, but I thought it would be an interesting thing that here is yet another one, and yet I'm not being taken seriously. And I'm sure that a lot of you out there know that pain, because I hear about it all the time. People are like, and people will make fun of you and people won't listen to you, and it's the same thing over and over and over again. So ICAR, International Center for Abduction Research. I don't know their reputation. I cannot vouch for them, good or bad. A lot of other people vouch for them in a good way, so there is that. But they have a list of books, like Walking Among Us, The Alien Plan to Control Humanity, which is kind of interesting, and that's by David M. Jacobs. And I ordered The Threat, because there was this used copy available for a couple of bucks, and I had a couple of bucks. So I have ordered The Threat, which was published in 1998. It contains the first comprehensive evidence-driven hypothesis about the meaning and goals of the UFO and abduction phenomenon. And I really liked the idea of evidence-driven. See, I liked that. I hope it does a good job of listing the evidence, even if it is 1998. We'll see. So there is that. Woo! And then I'm flitting around because I go through periods of inactivity and activity depending on my work schedule and how I'm feeling. And a long time ago, see, I live in Illinois. Okay, not going to disclose exactly where, but I live in Illinois. And the thing about where I live in Illinois, we are one of the most active areas for UFOs in the country, next to one other place, right? And I think the other place is California. I can't remember. I'm looking at my things here, trying to find it to tell me, and it's like, ho, 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 you want to know what? The difference between the other active area, which I do believe was Southern California, and here is that here it's the activity is numerous. I mean, we have 6 major sightings that happened in one day. Okay. And I mean, but people are like, meh, and no one talks about it. I had never experienced a waking abduction situation like that one experience I described since I was a child until I came here. Never saw so many things in the sky until I came here, even in Jacksonville, which is a hot spot. And so I've come to realize that this place is like a vacuum for groups to skywatch, support groups, the works. And I've been considering maybe I'll do a support group around here, except that I'm really leery of it. And the reason why I'm leery is because I realized this is a hot spot and there was a vacuum. So I started an abduction support group. And people came. They were so happy. I was footing the whole bill myself. I wasn't asking for dues, nothing. And we had a couple of meetings at my house. We had a couple of meetings at the library. And these two bitches joined the group. And one gentleman joined the group. Now, the gentleman told us straight up front he was Navy. He was like, you can't know. My security clearance is being investigated, so I don't really want anybody to know that I'm here at this meeting. He proceeded to do things like talk to everybody and tell them how dangerous this stuff was and try to persuade people out of being in the group. I mean, this guy was a mole and a half, right? And the two bitches come on like they're friends. And I watched their behavior because, you know, these kind of people, they're like high school. Honest to God, you're like, if you graduated high school and know how people act, you can just stand and just watch them and know exactly what they're going to do next. They started when I invited a gentleman who wrote a book about UFOs in the Bible to speak. And they had been speaking to him right before. And they, honest to God, totally ambushed me in my own house. He didn't like the fact that I had a painting I had done on the wall of an angel with wings. It completely offended him, as if my home decor is any of his damn business. Spent the entire time putting me down personally. I was hosting him in my home, and then he got with the two bitches, and within 2 months, honest to God, they made a bid publicly in front of the group, because I was running it democratically with like voting and stuff, because I didn't want to be like a control freak. And they to get control from me and get the group to vote me out and them in to take over this support group that I had slaved and labored to help flourish, to help people. And they turned it into a 9/11 conspiracy group with information and stuff, which, you know, my group's dynamic was share stuff with, step up, you know, take turns. Let's take turns with presentations. Let's all be a group together. And it was like, what the hell did I do to you, right? I hosted you in my home and I helped you with gas and I was friendly to you and this is how you repay me. So of course I called them out on it. I told them, I was like, yeah, I was waiting on you to do this and you did it right on schedule. And oh, they were so mad. How dare you? That is the lowest thing ever. How filthy of you to make these accusations, yet there they were doing them. This was a concerted effort on a military person, two blonde bitches who incidentally had moved into town right before the group started and then moved away right after the group ended. Okay. And then this so-called author, the so-called researcher, right? So you know that it was a concerted effort. But again, scientific process, all I know is these guys were bitches, okay? I was on Butch Witowski's website on his Facebook because I like to follow his information. He does a lot of information on human mutilation, and yes, I am hoping to do a decent video about that topic. Eventually, I don't really feel confident in what I've learned yet. And lo, he's advertising a alien support group where the drama happened. And I was like, it's got to be different people at this point in time. It's been years later. And I'm not saying that this group is toxic so much. It reminded me of what happened. And I'm like, as much as I want to put out a support group here where there's a vacuum, I have to wonder, how will it be received? I'm pretty sure it would not be received very well. For example, there's this phone app game where you chase ghosts on your phone, and it's an exercise game. And we went to the park to play it, and people were like, what are you doing? And we're like, chasing ghosts. And they made fun of us because they were too stupid to realize that it was a that we're holding smartphones, that it must be an app. Duh. I worry that starting a support group here would lead to a lot of strife. It isn't that I'm not going to do it. If somebody else chooses to do it, then I will support them all the way, you know, because it's not a matter of glory. It's a matter of, hey, we need this thing here. This is really happening here. And it's a serious matter. People are suffering. But I am definitely considering ways to make it a bit more private and anonymous to protect people. The part that worries me the most is how to screen the people that come to make fun, because they do, or to troll like that one dick or those two bitches, and how to avoid a mutiny from power hungry whores. Hey, if you have genuine ideas or thoughts on the matter, I would welcome them. If you're going to come to my thing to troll, I am going to your comment, just so you know, because this is a serious matter. So that's it, and this has been running for 20 minutes, and I would rather end on a positive note. Positive note. Thinking Gary Johnson for president. No, okay, yeah, that's positive, but okay, something else. Okay. Pocket Fox. Pocket Fox. Cute Pocket Fox. The Pocket Fox. Okay. Pocket